N'Golo Kante has serious chances to leave Chelsea next June. N'Golo Kante suffered a setback on the way to his return from a hamstring injury this past week, and it looked to more or less seal the faith of his Chelsea future in the process. The player is happy in London, and would like to extend his stay for a few more years. Chelsea are not willing to offer Kante the 4-year deal he is reportedly searching for, due to his age and injury history. Chelsea are prepared to let Kante go, and he could now leave as a free agent next summer. According to Fabrizio Romano, N'Golo Kante has serious chances to leave Chelsea next June as a free agent. Romano revealed there has been no further negotiations over a new contract, and the player is very likely to leave the club next June. Kante has missed 64 games for Chelsea since the start of the 2019-20 season, and that is an injury record the club feel does not warrant a contract the length that Kante wants. Chelsea are ready to allow the player to leave, and will look to sign 2 midfielders in the summer when he eventually does walk out the door as a free agent. The French midfielder has been an immense servant to Chelsea since he signed for the club, and it will certainly be a sad day when he does step out onto the Stamford Bridge pitch for the last time. Chelsea and Liverpool to battle for Declan Rice. Chelsea have been long-time admirers of Declan Rice, and this summer is expected to be the one they finally land the West Ham United midfielder. West Ham are really underperforming this season so far, and failure to turn things around could seriously lower the valuation of Rice. Liverpool's interest may come as a surprise, but when looked at more closely, makes a lot of sense. The possibility of missing out on Jude Bellingham is something to be considered, and Rice is a massive option to help bolster the midfield. The two clubs are expected to fight it out for his signature. According to Ekram Connor, Chelsea and Liverpool are expected to battle it out for the signature of West Ham United midfielder Declan Rice next summer. Rice isn't having the best of times at West Ham, and may be looking to move forward with his career in the coming months. The player has a World Cup campaign coming up, and any decision about his future is not expected to come until next summer. West Ham are unlikely to sell in the January window, and the fee to take the player away from the club is likely to be one saved for the summer. Both clubs need to strengthen their midfield, and Rice is an option that could greatly improve both teams going forward. It's certainly one to look out for. Chelsea target Milan. Skriniar could sign new Inter Milan contract. Chelsea are looking to sign a new central defender, even with the rumours Thiago Silva will likely sign a new deal to stay at the club beyond this season. The defender is still aging, and Chelsea know eventually they will have to replace him. Milan. Skriniar is one of the targets on the list for centre-backs that Chelsea could sign to replace Thiago Silva, but just like Raphael Leao at AC Milan, the Serbian centre-back could be set to sign a new contract. Inter Milan are confident the defender will commit his future to the club. As reported by Fabrizio Romano, Inter Milan CEO Giuseppe Marotta is confident that Chelsea target Milan. Skriniar will sign a new deal at the club in the near future. Chelsea have interest in the defender, and plan on replacing Thiago Silva with someone of ilk. Josko Gvardiol is also another target for Chelsea. Speaking about Milan. Skriniar today, Giuseppe Marotta had this to say about the player signing a new deal. "We are optimistic and confident, but OFC it depends on Skriniar and his plans for the future. As Inter CEO, I have to be confident on this deal as always. Chelsea will have to move fast if they want Skriniar as a priority, as they certainly need a new centre-back for the future to be signed soon. Thiago Silva is not getting any younger." Jorginho wants higher wages in new Chelsea contract. Jorginho is asking for higher wages in his new Chelsea contract, and is unlikely to accept Chelsea's first proposal. Jorginho may not be performing to the levels he did in that Champions League winning season for Chelsea, but he is still an important cog in the team. The Italian seems to be part of Graham Potter's plans, and the club are prepared to offer him a new contract. The player wants higher terms than the initial proposal Chelsea are offering. Jorginho wants higher wages, by £30,000 more than the club are initially prepared to offer. There is interest abroad for the midfielder, and Chelsea's failure to reach his demands could cause a problem. According to Nazar Kinsella, Jorginho wants higher wages in his new Chelsea contract. Chelsea have presented initial terms which are around £120,000 a week, but the player wants closer to the region of £130,000 a week instead. Cesar Azpilicueta was recently given a new deal earning that amount, and Jorginho will point towards that as a reason for him to get the boost to that price. The player is of course an important player for Chelsea. Graham Potter will ultimately decide if he is a large part of his plans for the team in the future, but right now he seems as important as anyone in the squad. Talks are set to continue over the new deal, and it will be up to the two parties to see if they can come to some sort of agreement over the financial side. Denis Zakaria could cut short Chelsea loan in January. Denis Zakaria may have been fed false promises when he signed for Chelsea on loan in the summer, because the Swiss international has yet to play a game for the Blues under Thomas Tuchel or Graham Potter. Zakaria isn't even named in matchday squads, but is still playing for Switzerland on international duty. The omissions would be understood if there was an injury, but it's clear that's not the case at the moment. The player could cut short his loan in January, and return to Juventus to try and get some game time. According to Nazar Kinsella, Denis Zakaria could cut short his nightmare loan deal at Chelsea in January, and return to Juventus to try and play some football. He has yet to make a single appearance for Chelsea in any capacity this season. The midfielder was signed under Tuchel, who would have likely had more minutes for him than Graham Potter. The player barely makes the bench for the team, and is prepared to cut short his loan. Zakaria is set for talks with Graham Potter and Todd Boehly this week, and if he is told he's not part of the plans for the future, Juventus are expected to get the player back in January. The Italian giants wanted to keep him, and given their midfield struggles this season may welcome him back with open arms. AC Milan to submit new Raphael Leao contract proposal amid Chelsea interest. AC Milan are moving forward with a new contract for winger Rafael Leao, which is bad news for Chelsea. Chelsea had huge interest in the signature of the Portuguese winger, but AC Milan may win the battle for now. The club are said to be growing in confidence over the possibility of a new deal being signed, and are set to meet with the player's father in the coming days to discuss a new deal. Manchester United and Chelsea could now miss out on a player they both had interest in. According to Fabrizio Romano, AC Milan are set to send a new contract proposal to Rafael Leao in the coming days, and are confident the player could sign a new deal at the club despite the growing interest in Europe. Chelsea have already had high bids rejected for Leao, and if he signs this new deal at AC Milan, the chances of a deal happening are very low for the time being. Rafael Leao's current deal expires in 2024, and he has a €150 million release clause in his current contract, which any club that has interest will be expected to pay if they want to battle AC Milan for his signature. Chelsea will likely turn their attention elsewhere if Leao does sign the deal for AC Milan, and it will be a case of the one that got away. Leandro Trossard refuses to comment on Chelsea rumours. Graham Potter is interested in bringing Leandro Trossard to Chelsea in the coming months, but the player himself has refused to comment on the heavy rumours. This may add even more fuel to the fire. Of course, Chelsea are not alone in their interest, with Newcastle and Dan Ashworth in particular expected to push for the signing of the Belgian, but a reunion with Graham Potter seems hard to turn down in any case. Chelsea are likely to try in January, as they aim to secure top 4 football for next season. Reports circulated this week that Graham Potter wanted to rival Newcastle United for the signature of the man he managed at Brighton, but when asked about the rumours, Leandro Trossard refused to comment. Speaking to Play Sports, Leandro Trossard said this when asked about the rumours. "It's very difficult to answer that. That will have to wait until after the World Cup." A cryptic answer, and no clear indication to Brighton fans that he will absolutely stay after the World Cup is finished. A good strong campaign in the World Cup may even give Chelsea no choice but to snap him up. Potter's role in the signing, if it does go ahead, is expected to be key, with Trossard exploding as a player under the man who now sits in the Chelsea hot seat.